Hello there everyone, today's video is all about investing for the kids. So specifically, what methods to put some money away for your children until they reach adulthood or even beyond. So let's start with a pension first. So a pension from you as the parent into your child's pension fund. So a junior SIPP, self-invested personal pension. The rules say that you can pay up to £2,880 a year into your child's SIPP, 2880. And what happens is that the government will top that up with 25% of that amount to get it up to £3,600 a year. So £3,600 a year will be in your child's pension fund, growing, compounding year on year, decade after decade. Now, tax-free growth. So there is no tax on any of the investment yields within the pension. So on dividends, if the funds are invested in stocks and shares, or if any assets are sold within the pension wrapper for the kids, no capital gains tax. So tax-free growth. In terms of when can your child get their hands on the pension, well, they can access it when they reach the NMPA, the National Minimum Pension Age. Now, currently, that limit is set to rise to 57 in 2028. So in 7 years' time, 57 will be the age at which private pensions can be accessed. Remember, this is different from state pensions. Private pensions, generally, you can access them 10 years before the state pension. However, expect that figure to rise by the time your child gets to being in their mid to late 50s. It could be 60 by then. But essentially, whatever age it is, that's the point at which they can access the pension pot. Now, they don't have to access it, of course, at 57 or whatever the national minimum pension age is. They can take it when they crystallize their state pension, which could be another decade later. Of course, the longer they leave it, the more compounding effect will happen within the pension fund and the more tax-free growth and hopefully the bigger pension pot they will have. So just as an example of how powerful compound interest is, if you put in £100 a month into your child's pension from the point at which they are born and then stopped at the age of 18, so for 18 years, every month you put £100 into your child's pension, by the time they get to 65, say, the chances are that that pension fund will have grown to 7 figures. Given a fair wind, using the typical investment returns, can't always guarantee these things, but even if the child themselves didn't contribute anything into the pot between the age of 18 and 65, they would have best part of £1 million in their pension fund. So that's just how powerful compounding interest is. So you can imagine if you did nothing between 18 and 65 and just let it grow and grow for 40 odd years, the pension pot could be pretty big. So alternative to pensions would be junior ISA. So you can pay into an ISA for your child. The amount that you can put in is more generous than with a pension, £9,000 in each tax year. Unlike with the pension, there's no government top-up, so the government don't top up 25% on top of whatever you put in, but £9,000, very generous. The child can manage the fund from the age of 16, and they can access the fund from the age of 18. So that is one of the downsides, that they legally can get their hands on the money at 18. They may be nowhere near financially savvy enough to invest the ISA properly. However, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Well, what if it's used for a deposit for a house? Because we all know about the problems with this generation getting on the housing ladder. If it's locked away in a pension, yes, they're going to have a terrific pension decades down the line, but what if they need money in the interim to try and get on the property ladder? If they have a decent chunk in an ISA, they can get their hands on their cash that much sooner. Yes, technically they could blow it at 18, but hopefully you've given them some financial tuition and they don't blow it at 18. Instead, they just reinvest it in a regular ISA, switches from being a junior ISA to a regular ISA, and then when they're ready to buy their first house, maybe in the next decade, in the 20s, they've got a big chunk of change in their ISA and they can do it. So as a parent, you can actually, there's nothing to stop you, if you're a generous parent, putting into both the child ISA and the child pension as well. So that would be, if you did that, that would be about 11 or 12 grand a year. Very generous parents who do that, but nonetheless, if you want to give your kids a terrific start financially, the best way to invest for them would be in one or both of these options. So just a quick overview there on junior ISAs and junior SIPPs. If you like this video, please do subscribe,